Walker knew that the progress of the Hallerton Road inquiry would hinge on how long the victim had been in the ground. He had asked for a preliminary report from Foster today. Never mind that it was Sunday. It was vital to get this fact established as soon as possible. The more recently the body was buried, the more urgent, not to mention exciting, his work would become. On the other hand, the longer ago it was, the colder grew the trail, and proportionally smaller the chance for a quick breakthrough. As a policeman, Walker had always known his own best assets were explosive energy and inspiration, rather than the patient application of method. He was more of a sprinter than a marathon man. When he breezed into the incident room at 9 in the morning, the search for the history of 34 Hallerton Road was already on. The room was buzzing with talk and bleeping with phones and computer terminals. The land register had been accessed and legal documents searched. Computerized lists of registered electors, social security claimants, taxpayers and missing persons were now being combed for the house's owners and residents. "Good morning, everybody," called Walker above the noise. "Cracked it yet, have we?" Doug Collins sat back in his chair and yawned, scratching the back of his head. "It's going to be a pain in the neck, Gov. The house has been a squat for the past 5 years. DSS before that, and way before that, a bed and breakfast." This was not good news. Walker closed his eyes. "Shit, Doug. Must have a list of residents as long as my arm." "Oh, longer than that," said Collins. "Tracing traffic through the place from the time it was DSS alone's going to take weeks." Walker shook his head slowly. "We've got weeks," he said sadly. "Gov, it's for you." Detective Constable Lisa West was holding up a telephone. It was Satchel from the mortuary. "Gov, they're piecing the skeleton together," he said. "You want to come and have a look?" "OK, Satch, I'm on my way." Pat North's best friend, Vivian Watkins, still a detective constable since their time together in Divisional CID, was driving tomorrow's increasingly nervous lecturer to Heathrow. North sat in the passenger seat with her overnight bag on her lap. By travelling up a day in advance, she was taking no chances over her appearance at the conference. "So," said Watkins brightly, "when are you back?" "Day after tomorrow." "Well, rather you than me." North clicked her tongue audibly. "I do wish people would stop saying that." Watkins laughed. "Sorry, I only meant I'd never have the nerve to stand up and give a lecture in front of so many people." North did not reply, and Watkins could gauge the tension in her friend. The two women had been drawn together by mutual sympathy and the similarity of their experiences. Watkins lived with a man who was not in the force, but like North, she desperately wanted children, and she had also suffered the agony of miscarriage. "You okay?" she asked after a few moments. "Yeah, just tired. I've not been sleeping well." "Sounds familiar. I suffered the same after my miscarriage. Have you tried St. John's wort?" "What?" North gave a puzzled laugh. "What wort?" "St. John's wort. It's a herbal remedy. Makes you feel more positive. Really helped me." North wrinkled her nose. "No offence, but I'm not really into all that homeopathic stuff. Vodka and tonic does the same for me." They had pulled up at the setting down area of Terminal 1. North unslung her seatbelt and got out. "Thanks for the lift, Viv." Watkins gave her a wave. "Any time." North shut the car door and began to walk away. Watkins lowered the passenger window and called after her. "Pat, I know you don't like people fussing, but look after yourself, eh?" "I will. Stop fussing." The bones of the skeleton had been laid out in correct anatomical order on a table at the mortuary. Gowned in green overalls, Walker and Satchel stood looking over them with Dr. Foster, while an assistant diligently counted the bones of one foot. "I can confirm the gender already suggested by the shoes," Foster was saying. "Not a cross-dresser, then?" remarked Satchel. "No. She's female and 5'8". "How long has she been dead?" asked Walker. Foster shrugged. "Who knows, but she's got quite a complete set of teeth. At this stage I can't tell you whether there are any bones missing or broken. We can't see any marks on the skeleton, but we have been able to estimate her age. She's young, somewhere between 16 and 19. You can't give me any idea what year she died. Well, we should be able to get a broad idea, but there'll be nothing concrete, except for the piece she was found under.